It's spooky season, guys. I'm excited. For somebody who doesn't like to be creeped out, I sure do love books that creep me out. Hello, book besties. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Bailey and I like to read a little bit, just a little bit. Today is a day that I have been so excited for because we are talking about my fall book recs, my Gothic book recs. It's Gothic Romance, it's Gothic fiction, just Gothic in general. Okay, the perfect books to read for fall in my opinion. Now, when I sat down to make this list of book recs, it started getting very, very long. There are like 25 books on this list, but all of these are ones that I would recommend. I've read a lot. It's my favorite. And what better time to do that than right before we're going into October. October is the best month. I don't care. I don't care. I love it. I have all of the books over here in stacks, but I'm not really sure how I want to go about this because they are all different. Like I said, we've got romance, we've got little touches of horror, we've got fantasy, we've got fiction, all the things. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna start pulling and we're gonna start chatting. Keep in mind as well, some of my favorite books of all time are on this list. So some of them I may be very, very enthusiastic about. I'm very excited for this. Are y'all excited? I'm excited. Let's start with one of my favorites. We're gonna be talking about The Shepherd King Duology by Rachel Gillig. I obviously love these books. They are in my God tier. I am obsessed with them. Was I one of the few people who wanted the nightmare to be the love interest? Yes. Don't judge me. I have my reasons. I love a sassy man, even if he wasn't a man and he more resembled an animal. That's fine. It's fine. But if you don't know what these are about, these are Gothic fantasy with touches of romance. So this is very fantasy forward. I love these. I love Rachel Gillig's writing style. This is one of the most unique magic systems I have ever read about. The magic is used through what is kind of like a deck of cards. Well, it's exactly a deck of cards, but I like to think of them as like tarot cards. There's multiples of some cards. There's like 12 cards for this one. There's 11 cards for this one. And then it keeps going up and up and up, right? If you use these cards too much, it takes a toll. So like say you were using the card for beauty, it is going to make you less beautiful on the inside if you use it too much. So there's always a catch with it, right? If you get sick, you have to go into the mist because if you survive it, then you get magic. And Elspeth never told anybody that she got sick. She's never told anyone that she has the nightmare in her head. She ends up bumping into someone in the woods and they go on this journey in order to bring all the cards together because that is what is necessary in order to heal the land and overthrow the king. The crumbs of romance that we get in these books are amazing. If you are wanting something that is fantasy forward, that is something unique, that is something entertaining, I highly recommend these. I feel like it's very hit or miss. Like some people love them, some people hate them, but I loved them. So if you are a fan of Rachel Gillig's writing style, I definitely recommend these and they are surprisingly funny. And I will not be judged for loving the nightmare as much as I did. He was my favorite character in both of these books. We're gonna set these over here. Piggybacking off of that, let's talk about another one of Rachel Gillig's books. We are going to talk about The Night and the Moth. This is also going to be a duology. This is the first book in the duology. I love this Fairy Loot edition that Emmy got me. It is absolutely stunning. Look at him. If there is one thing about me, I love a man who wears eyeliner. Okay, I love it. I love an emo sad boy. If you liked One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns, I think you'll like this. I actually think even if you didn't like that series, that you're going to like this. This has more romance in it, but it's still very fantasy forward. I feel like it's easier to digest than the Shepherd King duology. And I don't know what it is about Rachel Gillig's side characters, but the Gargoyle is my favorite character in this duology. Our FMC, she is a diviner, and diviners are a group of women who drown to see the future. And everybody from far and wide comes and pays and gets the diviners to see their future. But her and the other diviners, whenever this boy king comes in and he gets them to read the future for him, they're like, it's almost time for us to leave this place and go out into the world, because they do, once they've been there for a certain amount of time, they get to leave. They're like, we don't have any like life skills. Like we don't know what life is like outside of here. I told you a whole group came with the boy king. If I didn't, I meant to. There is a knight that does not like Sybil, our FMC, and Sybil does not like him, but you can feel the tension there. And things go wrong and she realizes, hey, maybe I've been lied to pretty much my entire life. So she goes on a whole journey to figure out what is happening, why things are the way that they are. That was a really bad description of this book. I don't know what my brain is doing today, but just know the banter, the romance, romance, the world, all of it, the writing style, the humor, so good. Y'all knew that these next ones were coming. These are also in my God tier. They are some of my favorite books to yap about. I will never stop yapping about them. It is the Tales of Weeping Hollow series by Nicole Fiorina. There's only 2 out. There's only been 2 out for a very long time. These are Gothic romance perfection. Nicole Fiorina has such poetic writing. If you haven't heard me yap about these take place in a town that is basically Halloween town. Nobody can get in or out of this town unless the magic lets them in. In this town, there are also 2 witch covens. They are rival witch covens. And in one of those covens, there are the Hollow Heathens. The Hollow Heathens are a group of men that are cursed, that you cannot see their faces or you will see your deepest, darkest fear and you will die. They can't even look at their faces. Each book follows one of the heathens and there is an underlying story throughout, so you will need to read them in order, but it's their love story and it is so beautiful. I love Hollow Heathens. Hollow Heathens was a 5-star, but Bone Island is my favorite one. Stone Danvers is everything to me. I love this emo sad boy. They're both emo sad boys. They're all emo sad boys. I mean, come on, they're cursed. The way that this man did something to me, I will never be the same. Ever, ever, ever. So I need you to read them. If you love yearning, I think you'll love these. So try them out, please. Ooh, I'm excited to talk about this one. This is a recent read of mine. I read this year, like last week. I said I wanted Gothic romance and this book delivered. I went into this and I was like, oh, this may end up being too spicy. Girl, it's a slow burn. It is a slow burn and I loved it. Our FMC in this one is a necromancer and she gets hired to basically cleanse this haunted mansion or this haunted estate. No, it's a mansion. It's both. To cleanse this mansion. I don't know how to word today. Like I said, it's haunted. And when she gets there, she finds out that there is a curse. The curse is put on the Duke that used to reside there. He is trapped in a painting, a phantom now. One thing about me is I love a phantom MMC. And she has to help him break the curse that was put on him years ago. When I tell you this is an MMC that I adore, there is a scene in this book and it is also in Nocticadia, which we are going to talk about in a minute. But I don't know if this is a microtrope or not, but it should be. You know what? I'm classifying it as a microtrope. I don't care. Whenever he backs her into a bookshelf and cages her in, lifts her chin up with one finger, just like that, and then turns around and walks away. Like the tension builds up and he just lets it dissipate. It does things to me. It does things to me. So highly recommend this. If you love a Phantom MMC, if you love yearning, if you want it to be in a standalone that's only like 300 and something pages, I'm telling you, read it. I did just mention this one, so I feel like it's only appropriate to talk about it. Nocticadia by Keri Lake. In case you are wondering, because I've gotten people asking, I got this copy of Nocticadia from Lit Haven Boutique. They are fabulous with their special editions, okay? I did not want the purple sprayed edges or the black ones. I like the way that this looks. The sprayed edges are hit or miss for me. Sometimes I like them, sometimes I don't. I don't want them to be just plain. This copy of this book, are you kidding me? It just has those end papers, but look at the reversible dust jacket. Look at that. Daddy Devrick, hello? Oh, I love that man. Top 10 book boyfriends, easy. But this copy, this naked copy is just so pretty. But anywho, enough talking about this edition. Nocticadia is one of my favorite books. It's just a perfect Gothic romance. Keri Lake is the queen of Gothic romance slow burn. She knows how to do it and she knows how to do it correctly. There is a disease that our FMC's mother dies from. And the disease, the worms, if you will, I don't want to talk about it, it's really gross, are found in only one place, on this island where the school is, okay? So her mom dies and she's like, I want to figure out what happened. I need to know what happened. She gets accepted to this island where the school is on, or to not really, she doesn't get a scholarship to the island, Bailey. She gets a scholarship to the school that's on the island because she wants to research the disease that killed her mother. Turns out when she gets there, there's like a secret society thing going on. It's spooky and she's maybe getting in a little over her head. And it turns out that the moody hot professor is the one who is researching what killed her mother. So she has to get closer to him in order to figure out what happened, but things keep happening that are not ideal. I need to reread this book. I love Dr. Death, Daddy Devrick. That's what they call him. They call him Dr. Death. He's moody. He doesn't like anybody. My type. This is teacher student. It's Gothic romance. It's slow burn. This is a really, really good entry into Gothic romance. If you haven't read it yet, please do. What's gonna be next? Actually, since we're on the topic of Keri Lake, let's talk about my second favorite Keri Lake book, which is Isle of Sin and Shadows by her. This was a 5-star for me. I don't normally like being creeped out. I don't like horror movies. I don't like any of that stuff, but this one had me looking over my shoulder and I could not stop reading. So it takes place in the Louisiana Bayou. And our FMC FMC, her entire family is murdered by this cult, and she ends up escaping, and a family friend takes her in. She never goes back until she's older, and she's like, I want to know what happened. But everybody in that cult in that town thought that she died. She's basically like a ghost in the town. Nobody knows who she is. So she goes back. There's this club owner that recognizes her, but he's not just a club owner. He also works for the group that had her family killed. He's like, do I turn her in or do I keep her safe? I don't know. He is morally gray. And the banter that they have, it's a slow burn. It's so good. It's spooky. It's gothic. It had me like freaking out a little bit for a minute there. And when I tell you that's when the burn burns finally, that is a scene that I will never forget. It's my second favorite Keri Lake book. You should read it, especially if you've read Nocticadia and you loved it. If you want more of Keri Lake's style of writing, do that, please. Thank you. We're already talking about Keri Lake. Like I said, she's one of my favorite authors. I'm not going to talk about all the books that she's written today, but I'm going to talk about another one, and it is Anathema. Here's the thing. If I had not been told that this is different than her other books, because this is Gothic fantasy romance, I would not have liked this as much as I did. I am glad that I was told that beforehand. This was like less of a slow burn in a way, because I feel like she was building the world and everything for the first 25-30% of the book. The world that Keri Lake made in this book is crazy. And the second book, Eldritch, just came out, in case y'all were wondering. This was supposed to be a duology. It has changed to a trilogy. This is very creepy, spooky gothic too, by the way. So basically our FMC lives in this very culty town on the edge of this wood. Whenever people act out, they get sentenced to the wood. They never come back out. Okay, the wood is evil. Well, she ends up running in there and she finds out that there is actually a whole world that is not the world that she's from. And Zavander, our moody emo sad boy who's very mean, has been told that the only way to break his curse is with Maveth's blood. Maveth is our FMC. I don't think I said that. And the ending of this book, it was insane. If you want gothic fantasy that's spooky, and yes, there is spice, if you want that, read this. Since we are talking about Keri Lake, this book, Grave Matter by Karina Halle, this one gave me Nocticadia vibes. Okay, if you like Professor Student, if you like spooky, if you like gothic, this is gonna be it. So basically in this one, our FMC, she is a mycologist. I think that's what it's called. She studies fungi, and she gets to go on this secluded island for this school that only a handful of grad students get chosen for. But when she gets there, things are weird. Dead animals are coming to life. Nobody is telling the truth, it seems like. It's weird, okay? Nobody's answering her questions, all the things. So she wants to get down to the bottom of it. The island itself is weird. The people are weird. She feels this instant connection with her professor, and she needs his help to figure out what's going on. It's not the same as Nocticadia. This is more, in my opinion, of like a thriller. It's spooky, you know, that kind of thing. I guess it's just the feel of it felt the same, you know, secluded island, that kind of thing. The ending of this book made me twist my head around like I was having an exorcism. Karina Halle can be pretty hit or miss for me, but I really liked this. It was not too spicy. It was so much fun. Since we are on the subject of kind of thrillers, this is one that I read last year. It is so short, and it was a 5-star read for me. It is The Cruel Dark by B. Northwick. If you haven't read this yet, I highly suggest you give it a chance. And also the audiobook, because I read this physically, and then I listened to part of the audiobook. The man that voices the MMC in this book, he sounds like the Beast from Beauty and the Beast. I don't know how his voice is that low. It does not make sense in my brain, but when I tell you I squealed when I heard it, I mean it. This is like a historical gothic romance thriller. Our FMC gets hired to live in at this professor's house and help him organize all of his paperwork and everything like that, okay? He's a recluse. Is that recluse? Yes, I think that's how you say that. And he's also a widower. There's not very many people who work for him anymore. He's like depressed and keeps to himself. When she gets there, she starts seeing things, and she's like, what actually happened here? Like, why does nobody want to be here? What is happening? And so she wants to get to the bottom of it while she is forming a connection with the professor. When I tell you, I read this cover to cover. I could not put this down. I was creeped out. I had a great time with it. For somebody who doesn't like to be creeped out, I sure do love books that creep me out. He is also a professor that knows a lot about folklore and stuff, so there's some elements of that in it too. I was shocked by the ending of this book. That's all I'm gonna tell you about the end, but I loved it. And it's short. It's short. She's sweet and she's short. Read it. On that note, because I mentioned folklore, I want to talk about The Exorcism of Faeries, one of my favorite books of the year. This was 5 stars. It's also my favorite color, in case you didn't know. And when I show you this artwork, guys, Are you kidding me? I love him. I fear I love him. And I loved her. So this is Professor Student, but it's different because she's older. Our FMC is the daughter of morticians, okay? And in order to make money, she gets these bodies from the morgue and she takes them to this secret society so that they can dissect, because there is a plague going around. Nobody knows what's causing it. Nobody knows how to fix it. Nothing. People are just dying and there are symptoms and she wants to get to the bottom of it. While this is all happening, she's not able to afford the school anymore. So she ends up having to take a TA job and she helps the professor. He's like the professor of like folklore and studies like that. She ends up talking to him about this plague and they're like, we're gonna get to the bottom of it. I loved the prose that she used in this book. It was, oh my God, it was gorgeous. It was gorgeous. And the love story made my heart ache. I loved it. They genuinely cared for each other and it was so good. I loved this. There's actually going to be a book too. Oh, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited. It takes place in 1990s Ireland. Wholly atmospheric. And you know Ireland always comes through with the lore. Highly recommend. Since we're talking about JL Vampa already, let's talk about the Autumn of the Grimoire. This is a witchy gothic book, okay? It's more fantasy forward. Basically in this one, our FMC, she is Sister Autumn. There are 4 witches. There have always been 4 witches. The witches have changed, but it always ends up being 4 sister witches. The one that we follow is Sister Autumn. There's Sister Summer, Sister Winter, Sister Spring, all of them. I don't know why I was forgetting the seasons. I know you heard the pause there in between all of those. So the sisters, there is a grimoire that they have, okay? And the grimoire tells them what they have to do. So any big event that has happened in the world in the past, they have been a part of. They have been one of the causes for it. So like a war happening, a famine happening, that kind of thing. Whatever the grimoire tells them to do, they have to do it. Well, all of a sudden, Sister Autumn, it's her turn with the grimoire, and she gets told that she has to marry someone. And that is the last thing she wants to do. She has never been told to do something like that, but she has to go through with it. She doesn't have a choice. So she has to go to this kingdom and meet this prince and marry him eventually. Well, when she gets there, things aren't as they seem. Things are coming out to light that she did not realize. I really enjoyed this. The writing style is very much the same as the Exorcism of Faeries. In a way, I feel like the Exorcism of Faeries was more romantic than this one, but I still really enjoyed this. I need to finish the series because I really like JL Vampa's writing style. But if you want like a witchy book, you can try this one. Let's stay on the topic of witches, okay? Let's talk about Phantasma and Enchantra by Kaylie Smith. These are interconnected standalones. There's going to be more in the series. This one follows Ophelia, and Ophelia is a necromancer. She has the magic in her family. Well, her sister Genevieve is like, oh my God, we're about to lose our house. But there is a haunted, basically like, it's like a haunted house that travels that the demons run, okay? And if you go in, you can win a prize if you win at the end. But it's not just like, oh no, I get kicked out of the haunted house if I lose. No, you die. You literally die. In Phantasma, Genevieve decides that she is going to enter into this haunted house and she is going to win so that her sister doesn't have to worry, right? Well, Ophelia is like, absolutely not. What the hell are you thinking? I need to go in and get her out. I need to save my sister. So she goes in too. And when she gets in, there is a phantom that is like, hey, actually, let me help you because you're not going to make it on your own. And she's like, fine. Now, this is very, very spicy. It was spicier than I thought it was going to be, which do I think that it could have been less spicy and still enjoyable? Absolutely. I would have preferred it. But I still loved it for what it was. I think it was really, really fun. It was really unique. Now that I've read Caraval, I see why people are saying this is like a gothic, spicier version of Caraval. There's also really good OCD rep in Phantasma because our FMC is OCD. It's just, oh, the banter, it's fun. If you want a fun, spicy, spooky gothic read Phantasma. And then you go into Enchantra. Now, Enchantra follows Genevieve, the sister. It's another type of game, except this one takes place in a mansion. She has to get married in order to save her life and play this game. Personally, this one, Phantasma, is my favorite of these two, but Enchantra is objectively a better written book. So take with that what you will. I do recommend these. They are so much fun. I cannot wait to see who the third book is about and what kind of game we have in that one. One thing about me, I love trials, I love games. Okay, they're so fun, especially when they're unique like this and gothic. Since we're talking about fun and spicy and all of the things, let's talk about The Poisoner by Ivy Ophelia. For those who have asked before, this edition is Ivy Ophelia's Kickstarter special edition of her book that she did. Oh, it's gorgeous. Like, look it. So this one follows our FMC who is a poisoner. This is like historical gothic romance with vampires and things like that, right? Basically, she helps women who are in bad situations by giving them poisons to poison the men that are putting them in those bad situations. We love a girl's girl. So she ends up poisoning this man, Silas, this man, this beautiful man, who yes is blonde, but hear me out. Turns out he's not human, he's a vampire. And poisoning him does not in fact really make him angry. He's not like, oh my God, I need revenge. No, instead he's like, oh my God, I'm in love with her. We love an obsessed man. Yes, we do. And he is definitely that. I'm talking, she throws an axe at him and he goes, marry me. Are you kidding me? I love him, Your Honor. And I also loved her. There's also something after her and she's trying to get to the bottom of it. So very good, very fun. These just got picked up for Trad Publishing. So I believe they're re-releasing The Poisoner in January of next year. I could be wrong. And I think book 2 is now coming out in February or March, something like that. I'm not sure, but it's the beginning of next year. And I can't wait for book 2. I cannot wait. It's gonna be so good. While we are on the topic of historical, this one, Grove Hollow Metamorphosis by Shelby Nicole McFadden. This takes place in the 80s, in the 1980s. This book is YA. It's going to be a 4-book series, and as it progresses, it is going to progress into new adult, I believe. This one follows our FMC, and she is an orphan, and she goes to live with her eclectic great aunt. And her great aunt lives in this really big mansion. Well, there's an abandoned mansion right next to her. She starts going to school. She makes this friend group. They're like misfits. And one night, they go into the mansion that is abandoned next to her mansion. She finds this artifact there, and a ghost that is attached to it. And the ghost, his name is William, okay? And she's like, I'm gonna get to the bottom of this and find out why you were killed, because he doesn't remember. He doesn't know why he's stuck there. She's gonna help him. Well, this has a little bit of like Egyptian mythology mixed into it, the 80s vibes. I believe the next book is going to be a whole different vibe, so I'm very ready for that. That comes out next year. I do get a lot of comments of people asking, can my niece or can my daughter, whoever, can they read this? This is one that they can read, I would say, that's not like gonna spook them too much if that's something you're worried about, or that's heavy on the spice if that's something you're worried about. This is very entertaining. I loved this much more than I thought I was going to, but I love 80s vibes. I was born in the wrong generation, clearly. Okay, so we're gonna go the complete opposite direction now. Let's talk about something that's really, really spicy, okay? It is called Charming Your Dad by Sarah Blue. This is an ovulation book, if you know what I mean. I was surprised I loved this as much as I did, but it was the right time to read it. So basically, it says Charming Your Dad. It's exactly what you think. Our FMC is a witch. She gets wronged by her boyfriend. What does she do to get back at him? Because she's very, very petty. His dad's a demon and she charms him. If I read this now, I don't know if I would have loved it as much. It just depends on the time that you read it, because I am not one that likes the daddy trope, like the word, but I liked it in this book. I don't know. It was funny. It was fun. It was entertaining. It was spicy. If you want something lighthearted and spicy, Charming Your Dad's gonna be for you. It's not just spice. She is also trying to uncover what's going on in her coven, because there are things going on. There are people that want her dead. So then we have another witchy book. It is Salt and Broom by Sharon Lynn Fisher. Salt and Broom is a Jane Eyre retelling in a way. It's actually exactly a Jane Eyre retelling, because the main character's name is Jane Eyre. She gets called away from the school that she grew up at, because she teaches there now, to help cleanse this house. She is known for her witchy things that she does. So she goes, and Rochester, who is the man that owns this house, he needs help cleansing it. There are bad things happening. There's like a shadow, that kind of thing. This was good. It wasn't great. A lot of people love this book. It's witchy, it's a retelling. You may like it, and I wanted to talk about it because obviously we all have different tastes in books, and you may love it. So there's that. Now let's talk about vampires. I'm talking about A Dowry of Blood by S.T. Gibson. So this is basically a Dracula reimagining, but through the eyes of Dracula's first wife. We're reading her point of view through letters that she wrote to her abuser, Dracula. It has a poly relationship in it. It's a little bit sapphic. A lot of people don't like this, but I really, really did. It's short. It's a really beautiful story about a woman escaping her abuser and how the manipulation works in a relationship like that, and how long it can last and how hard it can be to leave. I really, really love this. I really highly recommend it. It's beautifully written. It's a good one. This is my Dracula story now, except for Dracula Untold. That's my favorite, one of my favorite movies. I need to rewatch that. Anyways, I'm getting distracted now. I've been yapping for quite some time. I hope you're writing these book recs down. So the next one that I'm gonna recommend, I actually recommend listening to this one on audio, because that's what I did and I really liked it. And Education and Malice by S.T. Gibson. This is a Carmilla reimagining. Now, Carmilla is on my TBR for this year. Because I enjoyed this one so much, I want to read Carmilla. Fun fact, Carmilla is actually the story that inspired Dracula. This is a sapphic vampire book. Our FMC has a rivalry with Carmilla, and they both are very eager to please their professor. It really talks about like power dynamics and things like that. Sapphic vampires in academia, no less. Love. Oh my God, those stacks are getting large. There's 2 over here, guys. While we're on the topic of vampires, let's talk about one of my favorite books of this year. Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. This is sapphic vampire perfection. V.E. Schwab has said that this is one of her more character-driven books, kind of like Addie LaRue was. This, to me, is about how immortality can affect different people, how the decisions you make can affect not just you, but everyone around you. It is just wonderful. We follow 3 different women who all become immortal at some point in time. We read about their past and their present and how they got to be what and who they are, how power corrupts different people. I think that all of these characters were messy, but it was so good and I really enjoyed this. I could not put this down. V.E. Schwab really did her big one with this, and now I need to read her entire backlist. We've only got a few left, you guys. I'm kind of sad, but this is a lot of books. Like I said, I hope you're writing these down. Okay, get a pad and paper, get your phone out, something. We're gonna talk about The Witchwood Knot by Olivia Atwater. If you love old school fairies, which I think it's fairly obvious that I do, I think this is gonna be the book for you. In this one, Winifred, our FMC, she gets called to be a governess at this manor. But when she gets there, it's crawling with fairies. And the boy that she was supposed to take care of gets taken by these fairies. So she has to then find this boy, negotiate with the fairies. She does have ulterior motives of her own, okay? She seems to know a lot about fairies. And there is one fairy in particular that she is intrigued by named Mr. Quincy. When I say old school fairies, I mean like the ones with a tail, the ones with cat eyes, like that kind of thing, like very Cruel Prince, if you have read that, kind of look to them. They're tricky, they will spin the truth, you've got to watch your words around them. I love that. It just takes me back in time. It was very good. Olivia Atwater is a great author. Now let's talk about Nightshade by Autumn Woods. This is a more recent read of mine. This is academia, gothic, romance. Our FMC in this one, she's an orphan. She was orphaned because of a very evil rich man. Well, she gets accepted into the school for the elite, like the 1% of the 1%. And she is very much not that. Her whole plan is to get revenge on the man who killed her parents. Well, when she shows up there, she automatically catches the eye of none other than that man's son. Things are not always as they seem. I really like this. This MMC is one of my favorite MMCs of the year. He was emo sad boy, but he was still good. Oh my God, acts of service. If that is your love language, I think you'll like this. This was atmospheric. It's gonna be a duology. And I feel like the cliffhanger at the end, it was a cliffhanger, but it wasn't a terrible one. So I'm very excited to see where book 2 goes. I giggled, I laughed, I kicked my feet. There's also a murder mystery involved. So there's that too. We have one book rec left. You did not think that I was going to make it through an entire fall book rec video without talking about one of my favorites of all time. And that is Fairydale by Veronica Lancet. Now this copy is from a company that I do not recommend buying from because I have seen some very unsavory things about them lately, allegedly, but there are also a bunch of other special editions of Fairydale out there if you just look. Now Fairydale, when I say it's one of my favorites of all time, oh my God, to read this again for the first time. This is not going to be for everybody, okay? At the very beginning of this book, Veronica Lancet has an author's note that says, this book is meant to confuse you. So just go with it. This is historical, gothic, paranormal, fantasy, all the vibes. It's in this book, okay? Our FMC gets a letter, and the letter is like, hey, your dad died. You have to come back to Fairydale, the town, in order to see what he left you. And she's like, huh? Okay. And so she goes back, and when she gets there, she meets Caleb, and he is the town golden boy. He starts showing her around. And then when she goes to sleep, she is having these very vivid dreams of this Victorian era man named Eamon. As time goes on, she doesn't know what's real, what's not real. Caleb starts acting weird, but the other guy that she's dreaming about, he's literally a dream, like he's not real. Some weird shit starts going down in the town, and she is just along for the ride, just like the reader is. My number 3 book boyfriend, yeah, he's number 3 of all time, is in this book, and I love him. The yearning in this book goes crazy. This is one of my favorite love stories. Like I said, it's not gonna be for everybody, but it was for me. Wow, I have been yapping for so long, but that was so many book recs. I hope that you found a book that you have not read yet out of this entire list that I have compiled for you guys. I love Gothic romance so much. I think that it is the best genre out there. It's just so atmospheric and moody, and it's everything that I love. So I hope that you love it as much as I do. I hope that you love any of these as much as I do. If you have read any of these books, I want to know which one is your favorite that I was talking about. And I also have another question, a favor to ask of you, if you will. If I did not mention one on this list that you love, that is Gothic romance, Gothic, whatever, I need you to tell me. I need you to tell me so that I can read it, okay? Because I am always looking for more books to add to this list. It's spooky season, guys. I'm excited. Grab a spooky book and read. That's what I'm about to do. I love you guys so, so much. I hope that you are having an amazing reading month. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next week.